Let's get down to business. Give you one more night to get this. We've had a million nights just like this. So let's get down to business.
All right, welcome to another episode of Catching Up with Cats. We are joined by 2022 graduate Paige Lemenager. Paige, thanks for joining us. And so like the other two episodes, you're our third guest to join this segment. And so what we'd like you to do is just tell us kind of what you've been up to since you left Normal West in 2022. And the floor is
maybe
yours.
Let's start with who is Paige as a Normal West student and kind of leading up to Normal West.
Okay.
And then we'll figure out what you were doing after.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Growing up in kind of a small rural community, I went to Hudson Elementary School and then I went to Kingsley, and Normal West was a big jump for me from just a sheer class size standpoint. I tell a lot of my contemporaries at my university, like who I'm close with in the animal science department, that I walked in the building at Normal West and saw a face I'd never seen before every day. So that was kind of a lot, especially going through the pandemic while we were at school, and then people's faces were covered up by masks. That was definitely a very pivotal time while I was at Normal West. But some things that I did and what I was involved in, to answer your question, I did a lot of things agriculture related. So the FFA organization, or the Future Farmers of America, what it was once called, is where I spent a lot of my time down kind of on the one end of the building in terms of just public speaking, livestock judging, and several different kind of job interview aspects as well. Like they call it the Employment Skills Leadership Development event. Mm-hmm. And other things that I did, I was in National Honor Society, National English Honor Society, Student Council. I think I did a couple things with Promise Council as well. I'd honestly have to go back and look at my old high school resume when I was applying for college scholarships to go back and kind of look at those things. You had sent me those preliminary questions and I had to go back and quite literally look at my transcript to remember what some of my classes were called. But I really, really did enjoy my time at Normal West. I thought the staff was second to none, and it definitely set me up for success in my future. And I haven't been too stressed during college, but
I'm sure one of the classes you remember was accounting, right?
I do. Yes.
And then you had Mr. Burgess for finance. Is that correct?
Yep. Personal investment
so you
finance.
didn't spend all your time down in the ag tech wing. You were up here in the business area as well.
This is true.
So
You bet.
Okay, so back to my original question. You graduated in 2022, so
Absolutely.
about 3 years ago, which is, again, crazy to me. But what have you been doing since then?
So I was fortunate enough through the livestock judging in Denver, and we can talk a little bit about that. It's kind of similar to a sporting activity for some people, but that allowed me to go on to Lakeland College. I received a scholarship or a tuition waiver to go and compete there. And a part of that was me expanding my agricultural studies and doing that for 2 years. So in Mattoon, Illinois, for anybody that's not aware of that school. And then just through my agriculture network and really by putting myself out there and getting to know as many people as I could, I crossed paths with a couple different people from Texas Tech University. They welcomed me down. And then in December of 2023, I committed and received another tuition waiver to go and be on a part of the livestock judging team here and to continue animal science studies.
So was that in the spring of 2024 that you went down there, or did you wait until the fall of 2024?
Oh, so 2024 is when I visited. Sorry, I forget we're in a new year.
Got it.
But yes, December 2024 is when I, December 2024, I've been here. Yeah, it was December of 2023.
So you said you went down and visited in December 2023. Did you go down to school right away? Did you just say, I'm packing up and going, or did you go the following school year?
I went the following school year after the summer. Correct. Yeah. So I finished out my sophomore year at Lakeland.
Okay.
Yep. And I was trying to get figured out before the summer hit me where I was going to be moving, because I always knew that I wanted to get farther away for the second 2 years.
Texas is further away. So
definitely.
Mattoon, couple hours. Texas, a couple more hours than a couple more hours.
For sure.
So
For sure. No, it was a blessing in disguise getting to cross paths with very influential people here at Texas Tech, specifically in the animal science and the meat science department. And they put their trust and faith in me to represent the college and really just leave an impact on others and be involved from a leadership standpoint as well. I think club involvements was really big for me while I was at Normal West, because not only did that help my kind of networking skills, but also just regular conversations, because first impressions are everything. I've quickly learned that in my 3 years of collegiate education, and it's been wonderful. I really enjoy Lubbock, Texas. I have every aspiration to come back to the Midwest. 16 hours is a really long way from home.
That makes sense.
I was just going to ask you about Lubbock and how much you're missing Illinois winters.
Well,
apparently a lot if you're wanting to come back.
Well, you got to remember all the cattle on the farm are calving around this time of year. So that's welcome
true.
to new life is pretty exciting for us at home.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Living through pictures and videos right now from home.
Gotcha.
So run us through like what a livestock judging contest is. And from what I understand, I think Texas Tech won the NCAA tournament. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. And remember, you're talking to two people who really know nothing about this.
Yeah, we're like golf coaches, and so this is not like
yeah, and maybe even explain
wheelhouse.
what you're judging specifically. Like, pretend you're talking to a couple like kindergartners here.
Okay. No, that's okay. I do get that question. It's no big deal. So livestock judging is a blend of using your instinct and your public speaking abilities. So a contest is structured with 12 classes, and each class has 4 animals, specifically cattle, hogs, sheep, and goats. No horses or rabbits or chickens or anything like that. So those animals are typically production-based or show ring-based. So like they go and they're being exhibited by young 4-H and FFA members at their events. So a lot of our contests are in conjunction with livestock shows. I grew up going to livestock shows and exhibiting my animals, for lack of better words, banners, ribbons, titles. And then since all those livestock are in one place, like you can even compare it to the McLean County Fair. Like all the livestock are there at the same time, so pedestrians can come through the barns. It would be as if there was a committee of people that went around the barns and said, we want this sheep and 3 others, and we're going to put together a class. So then you go through each 12 classes and you rank them first to fourth. And it's an accumulation of different traits. For example, like cattle, you want them to have good hair coats, for example. You want them to be good structured, to have what we call power or muscle. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of the livestock are going to be for consumption at some point, but breeding animals as well, which is what my family and I prioritize. You need them to be sound structured for just the reproductive side of things, if that makes sense.
Yep.
You need them to just be able to get out and have fleshing ability and to survive the winter months, for example, as you were describing. So that's kind of what we do, and I hope that's a easy explanation. Collegiately, it's very complex. So we give 8 sets of oral reasoning, so it's like a mini speech, you could say. It's typically around 1.5 minutes is the time frame that we shoot for. And you walk into a room with pretty much a complete stranger more times than not. And you walk in and you give them your placing. Like I would say, I like the market steers 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you go into your explanation and you kind of break down the animal and their unique traits and how it ranks above the others and your logic and your reasoning. So a big reason why I got into livestock judging is because growing up, my family and I went to different shows. And if you're at the fair or anybody's had that opportunity to watch, and like the state fair as well, there's always an individual that's in usually like a kind of a sport coat and a tie, starch jeans, boots, stuff like that. And they look really presentable. And then they grab the microphone and they describe all these animals, and people are in competition and it's kind of high stakes and everybody's nervous. So that's what I'm in theory training to do.
Right.
No different than a basketball player going to practice every day and working on their craft and their skill. That's what we do with the collegiate livestock judging team. We go and we practice and we evaluate animals. the sheer interactions that you get to have, we travel all over the country. So what Dr. Beerbaum had seen on Facebook and then had kind of trickled into this podcast opportunity was we had just recently traveled to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and that is at the Cattlemen's Congress, which is a huge cattle event that was started in 2020. That was the inaugural one in January. So there's all sorts of cattle there, and there's teams from across the country that show up and they compete there. Well, we have our national contests all throughout the year, and they're at different points in time, but 2 of our national contests were back to back, which was Cattlemen's Congress, and our second one was the National Western Stock Show contest, which was in Denver, Colorado. So we drove all the way from Lubbock, Texas to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And then we had 2 days to hike it all the way to Denver, Colorado.
No, you say hike, you're not really hiking, correct?
Yes, that's true, yes.
Okay.
We load up in a van. There is 10 of us on our team.
I was going to ask that. So you have 10 on your team. All
Yes.
of them participate during the competitions, or are they limited to so many and some people are like on the bench or...
Very good question. Absolutely. So more times than not, like this spring run, everybody gets to compete, but at the big ones, only 5 people get to represent the college. So with that being said, I was fortunate enough to be one of the 6 that ran at Cattlemen's Congress. We had 6 people that represented Texas Tech at the Cattlemen's Congress contest, and then 5 at the National Western. And our upcoming contests, we're getting ready to go to the Fort Worth Stock Show and Rodeo contest. So that's 5.5 hours from here, maybe 6, straight east of Lubbock. And then we've got the San Antonio Livestock contest. That would be in just a couple weeks, the Houston one. So then we kind of have a break for the summer, no different than athletes, and then we kind of reconvene, and our season ends in November of 2025.
Okay.
So we go to the North American International Livestock Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, and that's the big one.
Are you excited about that one?
We are very excited.
Good.
Yes, I really couldn't have painted a better picture of a team and talented people to learn from and compete with.
Yeah.
We've got people from everywhere. I was kind of the black sheep on our team because I didn't have anybody that I had gone to my community college come with me. So not only was I what I am referred to as the Yankee, I'm the solo Yankee. We've got people that had attended Redlands Community College, which is in Oklahoma, Blinn College, another one in Texas, South Plains College, home states of Colorado, Arizona, Texas, of course, Oklahoma.
Yeah, so you are the Yankee. That's
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Nebraska. Yeah, a little bit of everything, but it is neat because a large part of what we do is we travel around to different farms, and people are kind enough to let us evaluate their animals and rank them and talk about them as a learning experience. And you get to go to different facilities and learn how different people work their livestock as well. And I think that's pretty neat. So it's definitely a different endeavor compared to maybe some of my contemporaries that I graduated with. Preston Rohde would be the equivalent. But
so it sounds like you're in the right place.
Yeah, very cool. I learned a lot there.
We're going to go back in time and talk a little bit more about Paige as the Normal West student. So we've got a couple questions here. I'll start. Do you have a favorite memory from your time here at Normal West?
I would just say the camaraderie was awesome for me. Like, I enjoyed getting to know different teachers, and like the guidance office was really big for me. I spent time in there because I think I delivered passes. What's that title called? I can't even remember.
Monitor.
Yeah.
Yes, I was a monitor.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was able to study a lot, fill out a lot of scholarship applications, and talk to Lauren Govey and get her advice, and Corey Osling. Like, they were huge for me in terms of setting me up for success on a collegiate level. Like, I enjoyed that a lot because I feel like it launched me, and I was having more people look at my letters of recommendation, or getting letters of recommendation, having more of them look through resumes and cover letters. I filled out 35 scholarship applications when I was a senior.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the most fun senior year because of it, but it allowed me to go, and I still have money from those scholarships I had filled out that I'm using towards rent and books and things of that such.
Yeah.
To this. So
Good.
that time I really appreciated. And of course, sporting events were always great. Parker Bain was a wonderful influence on me. He put a lot of trust in me to represent Normal West through the FFA program. That was quite joyful. I really did truly enjoy traveling with like Lauren Moore, who was an FFA state officer, and Preston Rohde. They were two of my sidekicks, and we accomplished a lot, and that was really fun for me.
Yeah, I remember Lauren from internship, and she had an ag-related internship. So,
So you touched
worked on our farm.
You touched on some teachers there. Then, so what were some of your teachers or coaches that had an impact on you the most?
Well, I remember both of you very vividly because I thought those skills that I learned in your guys' classes translated not only into my personal life, but my studies as well.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Very foundational skills that I needed. Natalie Spath was wonderful. She taught one of my dual credit classes. I still go back on some of the documents that I had in terms of structuring papers and all sorts of things like that. I really enjoyed AP Comparative Government and Politics, and then AP US History and Politics. I think I got those titles right. So I would have taken those
that
under
sounds right.
and Gay, and Mr. Hess was also another one. And Tim Sennett was wonderful. Thank goodness for him teaching me college algebra. And then I was able to do well or algebra, I should say, and then went on to be successful in junior college and taking those classes as well. I guess one piece of advice I would have, I just wanted to throw that out there because I think
I love it.
this would be a good, I guess token of advice for me was 3 big things that I am so thankful I had people pushing me to do, even though I didn't necessarily always want to. Dual credits were huge for me. It took a lot of the stress off when I got to college in terms of I just was able to do a lot more things from a personal standpoint. I was able to go home and see my family more times than not because I had taken some of those classes and I wasn't always in the classroom. I was able to be involved in more clubs. Taking 3 years of a foreign language was a lifesaver as well, because once you get to a university, more times than not, they do require some sort of foreign language. Like I remember the University of Illinois required 3 years, so I took 3 years. And then I'm trying to think what my third piece of advice was. Oh, and just really filling out as many scholarships as you can when start doing the beginning phases of it and writing short essays and documenting every club that you're involved in, every activity that you do, because you never know what kind of question's going to pop up on those applications. And the span from January till about April, my senior year, was very chaotic with deadlines, but I wouldn't trade those experiences for the world. And I would highly recommend doing those 3 things while you're at West and utilizing the great classes that are available. So.
Great advice.
Great advice.
Do you have a favorite cafeteria food that you had while you were here?
I brought a lot of meals from home, but I did always enjoy the fries.
The fries, yep.
Which we don't have anymore.
No.
Ever since COVID, they've kind of gotten rid of it. So sorry about that. All right. So you come back from college, from Lubbock. What's one place that you make sure to hit up? Either a restaurant, a store, or maybe a friend's house. Can't include your parents. Obviously, you're going home and you're going to stay, at your parents and stay there. But
I really enjoy going and seeing my grandparents and eating at Baxter's Bar and Grill over by the airport.
Yes.
Yep. Half-price appetizers on Wednesdays. That's kind of my thing.
The owner is awesome. I know him. I've played golf with him. So.
Oh, no way. Well, our family is there more times than not on Wednesday nights.
Well, tell Rodney I said hello.
Awesome.
So, all right.
So I have one more question that we ask a lot of our guests, especially former Wildcats. We have 8 traditions up here of Normal West. Some of the major traditions that I guess you would have been involved with are FMP, Senior Bricks, King of Hearts, just the slogan, "It's a great day to be a Wildcat," Westfest, our school fight song. So do you have if if you had to pick a tradition at West that you think is the best.
I'll never forget "It's a great day to be a wildcat" on the announcements every morning. That, like, I still say that when we're on the bus sometimes. To be like, everybody's got a piece that is in their mind. That's always sticks with me. I did love the senior bricks.
Yeah,
that was enjoyable. I think mine's still down there. Have you guys started doing them upstairs? Did you run out of bricks?
Not yet, but I think it's getting close.
Well, I think we've been talking about getting rid of some of the lockers because kids don't use lockers anymore, and that opens up a lot of bricks that are behind the lockers. So that might be the next phase. Yeah, but it's getting crowded, no doubt. So, a great day to be a wildcat is a great choice, and that's what's been chosen
so far. Yeah,
a lot. So I'm going to ask you one more question while he goes because he's got a meeting. He doesn't want to get in trouble for being late too. So the last question that I had for you was, what lies ahead? What do you see in your next few years and beyond?
Absolutely. So I've always wanted to be an attorney in agriculture. That has been a priority for me, especially in the estate and succession planning realm. But having an animal science background has definitely opened up my horizons to a lot of different aspects of where the law side of things could play into agriculture and supporting farmers and ranchers. But ultimately, I want to take the LSATs this summer. That's my plan, to just kind of see where I sit in terms of score. I've got enough time to get things figured out and pretty much start applying to different law schools. Hopefully, my fingers are crossed for Drake one day. That would kind of be the goal. But there's also a great deal of careers out there just alone in the animal science realm specifically, and from whether that's pharmaceutical sales or, I mean, my mom has an ag econ major or degree, for example, and she's been with State Farm Insurance ever since she graduated college and has been working her way up. So really I think getting a degree is as important as anything, but what lies ahead for me is the hope of law school, unless there's an opportunity that piques my interest more.
Right.
So.
Excellent. Thank you. Like Mr. Burgess said, we're definitely proud of you and where you're at now and where you're going to be. You were an excellent student in high school. It appears that you're an excellent student in college as well. And we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you. This was so nice to kind of catch up with everybody. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
Yes, best wishes. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care. Another person that I wanted to give a sincere thank you to was Dr. Beerbaum. During my time as a wildcat, he supported me to the highest degree and truly has an uncanny ability to rally behind his students and push them to be the best versions of themselves. And mock trial was a hidden gem during my time as a wildcat, but is a chapter in my life that I'll never forget. So thank you to him, and thank you to all the other teachers and those in the guidance office that pushed me and made me the person that I am today. So always proud to be a wildcat.
Today's podcast sponsor is Select Screen Prints. Select Screen Prints has been in partnership with Normal West for over 25 years, providing quality wildcat apparel at an affordable price. Choose Select Screen Prints for all of your custom t-shirt, sweatshirt, and apparel needs. They now offer digital printing, which allows for fast turnaround and excellent quality at prices that are less expensive than most online apparel companies. Select Screen Prints is the choice in Bloomington Normal area and beyond. Check them out for your next apparel order.